Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to put these parts together, but you know, I get constantly interrupted, and it's the weekend, and it's even worse. You know, that's it. So, trying to get back to it. Great. Am I supposed to sit here in the dark through the whole long night? Whatever. I'll stay a couple of hours for appearance's sake. Then I'm out. Let me just see it again because I don't remember. For 2 weeks, the city sinks into darkness. The song turns into a piercing wail. Life in the city comes to an halt. Performing their quiet work. This preparation later. Okay, because these are like, how to put it. These were things that were told to us right at the beginning, but it's like you are not so much into the story to actually understand the meaning behind each of these words. That's why sometimes I feel like I need to go back and look at it again because I'm just lost. Okay. Kicking rags and cables aside, I collapsed onto the sofa, exhausted. The worn faux leather squeaked unpleasantly at every move. Hammond's probably furious right now. I'll apologize later. I glanced at the box with the white tail sticking out. Maybe I should dress up as a cat? He'll be so surprised he'll forget he's mad. I giggled, imagining his shocked face, but the amusement didn't last long. I'm losing focus. I'll call him back later and do whatever he says. A large ampoule of a stimulant glowed red on the table. I picked it up, watching the liquid shimmer oddly. Hammond's stimulants are colorless, but this looks like a shady bar cocktail. What kind of a junk did he bring from the Capella this time? A stack of empty, dust-covered ampoules lay nearby. Hammond used stimulants when he missed the lost sensations of his body. I shuddered, noticing a long, heavy needle, the kind he used to inject straight into the core of his seed. So, if he lacks the sensations of his body, because I think he's one of the love interests, does that mean that if we kind of like get together, he doesn't actually feel the sensation of us being together, you know, even like kissing and all of it, you know, I don't know. He'll stopped using them in recent months. Think the quar. Sticking needles full of weird liquids into him, to yourself, huh? The darkness in the room suddenly shifted and I spun around. Nothing moved. Pampushka. The cat gave a lazy meow from inside the box. Did I imagine it? The air in the apartment grew thick, as if charged with static electricity. Every nerve in my body tensed, sensing danger. The shadows twisted. A figure slowly took shape, a person staring straight at me, head tilting with a crack. For several long seconds, we stared at each other. How? The doors are locked, the alarm's on. Pampushka would have raised hell across the whole district by now. The figure moved with eerie grace. Ice-cold fingers clamped around my throat, forcing me down against the sofa. Where? I grabbed its wrists. The ampoule fell to the floor with a dull clink. The skin under my fingers was unnaturally smooth, like polished plastic. So strong. I kicked out. A dull crack sounded. The figure barely flinched. Its hands tightened, threatening to crush my windpipe. It's a doll. Answer. At that moment, its appearance wavered. For an instant, its true form showed through cracked synth. A naturally pale skin and a face. I recognized that face. Material that mimics natural skin used for doll-making synth. Hemming. Oh, it has his face? The scar on its throat gapped like a ragged. Sorry. The scar on its throat gapped like a ragged wound, a seed inside pulsing frantically as if one more second and the whole thing would be ripped apart. Okay, do not try to reason with it, because I tried it and you get a bad ending. So strike at the throat. Twisting, I kicked with all my strength at the throat, hitting the gaping scar dead on. The doll's body convulsed, its fingers loosening their grip. Breaking free, I shoved the doll back. It staggered, froze, and collapsed with a dull thud. Damn thing, another second and it would have finished me. Yeah, it would. You would get a bad ending. Yeah, it kind of looks like him, right? Trembling, the doll propped itself up on its elbows, trying to crawl away. The cat peeked out from the darkness, watching the commotion with predatory interest. I can't believe this. My throat burned like fire. Another moment and those mechanical hands really would have crushed the windpipe. Just you wait, bastard. I'll tear you apart myself. Grabbing the stimulant needle from the table, I approached the doll. Its convulsions stopped. The single intact eye slowly turned towards me, reflecting the monitor's pale light. Who are you? The doll stayed silent, and a wave of revulsion hit me. Hamming's face with its mangled throat stirred a nauseating emptiness in my chest. The seed barely fit in the cavity. How did they even cram it in there? One wrong move means a crack, distortion, mutation of consciousness, or instant death. I hope it didn't belong to a human. I gripped the needle tighter, studying the doll's twisted, broken body. Cracks, warped joints, mismatched limbs. Everything about it screamed of imperfection. Whoever assembled it, it wasn't the Quar. Who did this? The eye twitched, its empty gaze fixed on my throat. If you answer, I'll remove the seed and give it to the Capella. The Harmonauts will preserve whatever they can. I doubt there's anything left to save, but if the seed belonged to a Deva, there's a chance the owner's still alive. Inside the doll. They don't hear, do you? Who doesn't hear? What should I hear? Please. The doll froze, the light in its seed winking out. Irritated, I looked around the apartment as if the answer were lying somewhere close. Just great. I stood still, listening to the faint hum filling the room. Hesitating, I turned off the blocker, hoping to hear something. Closing my eyes, I tried to concentrate. It could very well be the death throes of fading consciousness, but if I hear anything... Let me just do another save, because I never know when something might happen. Pampushka let out a long yawl, attracting attention. I glanced at the cat irritably, and only a moment later realized the doll was gone. What? I touched my neck uncertainly. The damaged skin was intact, leaving only a vague memory of pain. Pampushka jumped onto the sofa and dug into the upholstery, sharpening her claws with intent. Did you see that? The cat, of course, didn't answer, just flicked her tail nervously in my direction. I hastily rolled up my sleeve. The skin remained dry and clean, not a trace of bloody sweat. Okay, I'm not crazy. This Zarmany's not to blame. Damn it, no, that's even worse. Checking my pocket, I found the comlink broken. Oh, the delicate frame was cracked in half. I shouldn't have kept it in my back pocket. Sighing, I closed my eyes, trying to force my mind to work. A faint pain from the tower's intensified, throbbing at my temples. Merciful core, is this what Easter and Void were talking about? Appearing from nowhere, vanishing without a trace. I need to contact the inspector. I look at the comlink. The acrid smell of burnt plastic was anything but reassuring. I can call from another one. He turned this one specifically to receive calls from inside the tower. Oh. Biting my lip, I pulled Void's card from my pocket. Didn't think I'd have to use this so soon. The ever-noisy streets of the lower sector had fallen silent, even the darkest corners of the city emptied before the long night began. I spotted the bar sign and looked around hesitantly. He said he'll be waiting here, running late. A group of people rushed out of the bar and disappeared around the corner. Places like these close first before the long night. Why is it still open? The bar was dark and deserted. No music, just a hum of old monitors and a bartender lazily whipping the counter. Getting ready to close, I cautiously wove between the tables. The bartender finally noticed me and waved me over with a lazy gesture. We're closed, no drinks, no games, no sitting, no bathroom. Did a harmonaut came in here? The man sighed tiredly. A muffled groan came from behind the door. Stay here. The bartender dropped the rag and disappeared behind the door. A moment later, the door swung open. The bartender stumbled out with a bloodied nose. Void followed. The harmonaut gave me a brief glance, then turned back to the man. I asked for a minute of silence. Was that too much to ask? The bartender shook his head, spitting blood onto the floor. A black, oily puddle spread slowly across the tiles. Diwal, you're right on time. I'm not sure about that. Void went back into the room and a moment later dragged out the doll by its dislocated leg. The distorted body was an exact copy of the creature from the apartment. Its empty eye flared and focused on me. I have a lot of questions. I have even more. Sadly, no one here has answers. The bartender quietly returned to the counter and went back to work, as if nothing unusual had happened. I approached Void and whispered, "Beating up civilians now? Does it look that way?" He saw something, panicked, missed the door. A convulsion shook the doll's body. Its neck turned with a crack. The eye kept tracing my every move. Void studied the odd reaction, but quickly turned to me. "You are surprised, but not as much as I expected." I had to tell him what happened in the apartment. After listening, Void glanced at the doll with interest. "Curious. Creepy, you mean?" Did the doll speak in Hammond's voice or another? I paused, realizing I couldn't recall the sound of the voice. It seemed to come from within, blending seamlessly with my thoughts. I'm not sure. Is this what you call a chimera? Yeah, because after a while, sometimes I look for the pronunciation, but afterwards it just goes out and I don't remember anymore. Void didn't answer, his gaze fixed on my neck, studying every inch of skin with sharp intensity. "Void, tell me you have answers." "No, but we'll find them." I'm just a servant. All I can do is style the inspector's hair and brush the cat." The harmonaut noticed my confusion. His lips twitched in a condescending smile that immediately made my jaw clench. I was planning to dismantle it while we still can, but the structure is fragile. And if it disappears the moment no one's looking, then we'll see. I like to witness something vanish without a trace. Something about you and Ista attracted this creature's attention. What do you have in common, Maybe we should figure out what this creature is first. It's some kind of a deformed ionic doll. Hemming's body looks different, and you see how the seed has swollen? It looks ready to burst through the throat. Seeds don't expand like that, unless... Could it be a side effect of the stimulant? Oh. Void narrowed his eyes as if something in my words deeply displeased him. He let a servant examine his body. Yes, is that a problem? Forget it. The inspector is in the SIGILLVM, but this whole situation, isn't it reason enough to let him out of the tower? The tower, sorry. If it hasn't been sealed yet, then Nath and Senti will let him go, but it could take time. Bureaucracy is inflexible in these matters. Who? The Quarmasters of the SIGILLVM. The Quarmasters, always something. At the summit of the Capella's hierarchy stand the 3 Quarmasters. One conducts the Capella, one the Spire, and one the Labyrinth of the SIGILLVM. Okay, confusing. He leaned over the doll and prodded the scar on its throat. I stepped closer. The doll twitched, struggling to turn its face toward me. Void immediately pushed me aside. Stay back. Did the doll say anything? You're the only one it's acknowledged. At least Ista didn't hear a thing. Void bit his lips, examining the doll with irritation. He seemed annoyed that the creature showed no interest in him. Fine, we'll do it differently. Ista can look inside the doll. The boy will be useful for once. Good practice for his resonance too. He talks about resonance like it's a surgical tool. Surprising. Usually Capella servants revere it as a sacred gift from the Quar. He's a patron. You can track the entire protectorship into the inspector's affairs. Right now he's just a lone, frightened Deva, not a child of the protectorship. Okay, because I thought he was like on top of the Devas or something. I don't know. It's like talking about like he being part of like some kind of Devas dynasty, like the top 3 or something. Didn't she said something about that? Ista renounces his family? Great. Oh, okay. He renounces his family. Okay. Then I don't have to mind my manners. Okay. If he wants help, he's got to earn it. It's in his best interest to impress the inspector. Void slung the doll over his shoulder and walked out without looking back. Can I just hand him the comlink and run? Listen, I'll just get in the way. I've never dealt with anything like this. Let me give you the comlink and you can explain everything to the inspector. No. You don't understand. I said no, you're coming with me, Asra. And until the inspector says you're free, you don't take a step without my approval. I was taken aback. I wasn't used to such a commanding tone, but I understood one thing clearly. You can't argue with a Harmonaut. He knew how to inspire fear with a single glance. Void gave a dry smile, noticing my reaction. Obedience suits you. Ista met us with a calm nod. Noticing the doll, he silently stepped aside, letting us in. Didn't expect we'll meet so soon. And you, Void, I wasn't expecting at all. He eyed the doll standing motionless in the middle of the room. Leaning towards me, he whispered, "What's with him? Am I in trouble?" That's not the inspector. Ista straightened abruptly. Then you two better explain why you dragged this thing into my house. Put your gift to good use, patron. No, it's not a request. Is that so? Then take this filth and get out straight to the capella. He glanced at me. But the lady can stay. How hospitable. I'm not. The doll twitched and Easter recoiled. By the quar, get rid of this abomination. Calm down, boy. Tell me, do you hear anything? Now the doll staring at Easter. It doesn't seem eager to disappear. No, but it feels repulsive. It's radiating something sinister. Be specific, what do you feel? He didn't answer, turning to me instead. I need the inspector's word. If he agrees to help me, I'll return the favor. I'll look into this abomination as deeply as I can. He's in the SIGILLVM. I need to put this a little bit more. Okay. What a pity. You'll find your own way out. I'll talk to him about it. Void, can you fix the comlink? I'll handle it. There's no faster way? The tower is cut off from the city. If you have any ideas, I'm all ears. Do your job, Harmonaut. There's a room here that should suit you. Not the tools I need. I'll bring mine. You two stay here until I'm back. I'm going home. You guys deal with this. Call me when the comlink's fixed. I'm not staying alone with that thing. Void sighed wearily and closed his eyes. Merciful Quar, you're worse than children. Everyone stays here. Is that clear? I glanced at Ista. He looked back at me. Lock up the doll. If it vanishes, I'll crack both your skulls open myself. Skulls open. Okay. I'll crack both your skulls open myself to find out why this creature's after you. How charming. New standards for Capella servants on display, huh? Just for you, boy. Behave unless you want trouble with me on top of everything else. Easter grimaced, glancing at the doll. Asra, did you hear me? One dropped call from the inspector and here I am. I just hope what I'm doing now is enough to justify it. I hear you consider me and the young patron best friends. Maybe the doll won't want to leave our lovely company. Easter smirked but didn't argue. If he keeps his mouth shut, he'll be fine. Void nodded and left the apartment. Easter turned to the doll, tensely studying its distorted limbs. This thing belongs in the Capella. Anything involving dolls falls under the inspector's work. As far as I know, there's only one Ionic doll. This looks more like the one serving in my state. The doll twitched and collapsed to the floor with a dull thud. Easter exhaled and turned away. Hemming never mentioned other Ionic dolls, but what else could this be? Prototypes, maybe? Even the Quar couldn't create something perfect on the first try. I need to get back to the inspector's apartment. Weren't you listening? We're staying here, and I hope you keep your word. The inspector should hear about my help. There's a cat at home. I can't leave her alone. At least this order from Hemming I must obey. A cat? The food, damn it, I forgot to buy it. We'll bring her here. There should be enough space. Yeah, but it seemed like Pampuchka seemed like the type of kitty that wouldn't get along with, like, just anyone. He scanned the apartment with a thoughtful glance, as if calculating how much room a cat might need. Got any food for her? There's probably something eatable around. By the way, where are the servants? Don't tell me the young patron actually takes care of himself. I'm looking at one right now. What? What? I am not your servant. Every human in this city belongs to the patrons. You enjoy pretending to be human, don't you? But I kept used to living without servants. Heard you lost the protectorship's favor. My condolences. Ista laughed heartily. Careful, Diwal. I might demand moral compensation. Humans can only repay debts to Devas with themselves. What an ass. I hope Pampushka claws his smug face to pieces. After a pause, we shoved the doll into a dark room together. Fortunately, it didn't resist. Just cast its hollow gaze over us. Now it seemed fixed on the patron. As soon as I opened the door, the cat yowled and darted towards Ista's feet. Is that her? What a cutie. Oh, she was fine with him. Really? He scooped the cat into his arms, but she squirmed, climbed onto his shoulder, and settled across his epaulets with a pleased purr. Guess she likes me. I've never had such an enthusiastic welcome. I shot an envious glance at Pampushka's content little face. Traitor, I feed you, brush you, and you throw yourself at the first aristocrat you see. Good girl. Her fluffy tail curled around Ista's neck. In the quiet apartment, her relaxed purring filling the air. So this is where the inspector lives, quite modest. I grabbed the bowl and half-emptied bag of cat food. What did you expect, a palace? The inspector doesn't care about wealth or comfort. The sofa and pillows are here mostly for the cat's comfort. Ista nodded absently, stroking the cat's tail. I've never met him personally. What's he like? A professional, I suppose. I glanced at Ista. And he wears clothes. Better if Hemming never finds out you mistook him for that thing. That's not what I meant. You know, there are plenty of rumors about the Ionic doll. I'd like to know if there's any truth to those. I can't discuss that. He nodded, focusing on the monitors. That's it, he's just going to shut up. But okay, that's it, he's just going to shut up, but I'm curious. What rumors? All sorts. Spill, Hemming likes hearing gossip about himself. Really, last I heard, the inspector's a cappella project, a regular harmonaut they rebuilt to mimic a creation of the choir. After all, who but Capella would know for sure? He will explain where another doll came from. Boring. Hemming wouldn't even crack a smile at that. I was expecting something juicier. Just don't say that to Void. Void? He's a decent harmonaut. Terrible personality, but honestly, I'll trust him with my life. His sudden openness threw me off balance. I know our interactions haven't given you the best impression. That's my fault, and... Relax, I don't care about your spots. We're just stuck in an odd situation. We don't have to be friends. Ista sighed. When he's alone, he seems like an ordinary guy, not a trace of patron snobbery. If you're done, let's go. Best if Void doesn't find out about our little trip. Oh, and the cat just appeared out of thin air? He absently stroked the tail, noticing clumps of fur, and shook it from his glove. I'll blame it all on you. Thank you. Then I'll pin it on you. He laughed, lifted the cat off his shoulders, and squeezed her in a tight hug. Pampushka pranced around like she owned the massive house. Ista watched quietly for a few minutes as the cat zipped from corner to corner, leaving tufts of fur behind. So much energy for such a tiny thing. The door clicked. Void froze in the doorway, staring at the cat. It was her. I tried to talk her out of it, but the girl's uncontrollable. Oh my god, like, you do have like a personality that I just want to slap you most of the time, honestly. What a jerk. That's Hemming's cat. Hearing the Harmonaut's voice, Pampushka skidded to a stop and turned to Void. I just couldn't leave her alone. Nodding, Void silently headed to the room with the doll. Pampushka shot after him. What's next? Is that cat going to chase every man she sees? I sunk into the sofa, utterly exhausted. Ista's house felt too bright, too quiet, too sterile. Want a drink? He placed a sealed bottle with a bright label on the table. Alcohol? You trying to kill me? Just soda. It's all I could find. Though there's alcohol too. We can drink once the SIGILLVM comes down. Ista disappeared into the kitchen. I'm not spending a week stuck here with a patron. Hope Void fixes the comlink fast. I glanced at the door Void had gone through. Should I follow him? I don't want to stay with this guy. I'm sorry. I don't like him. I think he's stupid. Sorry. But yeah, I don't like people like that. So I'm going to Void. Let's... Oh, I cannot... No, I can. I can save. Let's just save, because, you know, I never know when something might happen. I'm going to Void. He serves Hemming. We'll find common ground. Better a Harmonaut than a volatile patron. While Ista was busy in the kitchen, I slipped away. Like, Ista might actually be a really cool guy. He's always like that. Like, they start like this, and then they become, like, cool guys and all of it. It's just that I'm kind of like feeling like... I'm really kind of like feeling like he's a jerk. Like with this situation of, like, bringing the cat, and he was like, oh, it was her. Like, what is this, dude? Ah. The room was dim, lit only by monitors. I spotted the doll carefully propped against the wall. Trying to tidy it up? He should have ripped off its limbs just in case. Void was intently studying schematics on the monitor. I cleared my throat to get his attention. He looked back reluctantly. What is it? Not bored, are you? Please, close the door and get the cat out. Papushka was weaving around Void's legs, begging for attention. I scooped her up, dodging her sharp claws, and set her outside the room. Go pester the patron. You liked him more anyway. Void gave a faint smile, watching me. Oh, he probably wanted me to leave and close the door. I won't get in the way. I'll just stand here quietly, thinking about important stuff. He nodded and started taking apart the comlink's casing. His eyes flicked between the schematic on the monitor and his tools. I paced the room, occasionally glancing at Void. I didn't dare approach the doll. That uniform is so tight. Is it comfortable to move around in? Void turned it, and I quickly looked away. Did you help the inspector with maintenance? If you can call it that. Care to elaborate? I replaced its synth, lubricated joints, mended clothes, styled his hair too. I hesitated, unsure whether to keep talking. That's all? Am I reading this wrong, or are you getting at something? Just trying to figure out why he even needed help with that sort of thing, and why he was so set on postponing our introduction. Strange, isn't it? Void opened the casing and paused, studying the charred wires. I remember Hemming's words. He liked me. That's impossible. I'll be stupid to believe it. But still... I keep saving because I never knew when things might go wrong. Let's ask. You know, Hemming said something funny about you. Void tinkered with the wires in silence. I feel like an idiot just trying to say this out loud. Do I have to guess? He said I caught your eye the moment you saw my photo. Void silently kept tinkering with the wires. There, I asked. Now I should probably run away in shame. And what's funny about the truth? He turned and froze, worried I'll say something dumb. Fear isn't quite the reaction I was hoping for. Or are you... Fear isn't quite the reaction I was hoping for. Or are you worried about which photos I saw? Oh my god, what does that mean? No. Well, which ones? His eyes flickered down past my chest like he was remembering something. A mole under your right breast. I let out a breath of relief. I don't know whose chest you were looking at, but it definitely wasn't mine. Void let out a soft chuckle. You know, Asra, I froze. This sudden change in tone made my stomach lurch. Catching my reaction, Void flashed a sly grin. I've spent a lot of time in the SIGILLVM. Sometimes I had to talk face to face with all sorts of Devas and their entourages. He stared at me and I couldn't handle it, so I glanced at the door. I'm not keeping you. You can go. Void went back to the repairs. I stood in the dark for a moment, reeling from what just happened. His stare gives me chills. Are all Capella servants like this? With a sigh, I left the room. I sunk into the sofa, stretching out with the ground before shutting my eyes. The bright light cut through my swollen eyelids. The blocker in my temple thugged under my skin. Calm down, just endure it. Void will fix the comlink. Hemming will know what's going on and things will get easier. Drifting off, I suddenly felt the sofa deep under someone's weight. A chill, sharp as a needle, pierced my spine. Oh my god. I opened my eyes and froze. The doll was right beside me, staring at my throat. Hello? The patron came back into the room carrying glasses and a bottle of whiskey. He froze, spotting the doll. Don't move. I'll prefer if it didn't move. This creature's angry. You'll never guess from that lifeless face. Too scared to budge, I stared at the doll's empty face. It was completely blank. Easter edged towards the sofa and carefully placed the glasses and bottle on the table. Asra opened the scar slowly. Are you insane? I'm not digging into its throat. He muttered a curse and inched towards the sofa. The doll twitched and collapsed to the floor. As soon as its convulsions stopped, I shot off the sofa and hid behind Easter. Did it calm down? Seems it can't feel pain from resonance. Why'd you mention the scar? I heard something, maybe I was wrong. You hear it? I told you there's something vile and dark in it. Not words, more like a premonition. Void stepped in, hearing the commotion. Seeing our tense faces, he raised an eyebrow. Couldn't you bolt that thing to the wall? Excuse me? Easter pointed at the sofa and froze. The doll, which had been laying on the floor just a moment ago, was gone. What the heck? He spun towards me, panicked, like he needed me to confirm it was real. The doll was just here, I swear. Without a word, Void slipped back into the room. The moment the door shut, Easter seized my hand, gripping it tight. It was the same the first time. It just showed up while I was changing. I shut the wardrobe and there it was, right behind the door. I glanced at his shaking hand and he was clearly terrified. And it was angry? I don't know, I lost control. When I came to, the doll was melted, laying in the corner. I blinked and it was gone. His pupils pulsed nervously, and the pressure of resonance in my temples grew unbearable. Another moment and his fear and confusion would stab into my mind like needles. Without thinking, I slapped him across the face. Easter flinched. His cheek reddened instantly. He stared at me stunned. We stood in silence, locked in a tense glare. Then he blinked, released my hand, and let out a shaky breath. Thanks, but next time don't hit so hard. I don't know. He checked the inside of his cheek with his tongue and winced. You could have fried my brain. Unlikely, but still. Void returned and gestured silently at the sofa. Easter and I swapped a look and sat down without a fuss. The Harmonaut handed the patron an empty glass. Where's the doll? First, let's check something. What's in the glass? Easter grabbed it and flipped it over. Nothing. No time for stupid questions, Harmonaut. Void leaned towards him. Easter recoiled. You sure? Is this an effect of disharmony? Void straightened, still studying Easter. That look could cut. More likely an anomaly in the seed's behavior, I suspect it belonged to a Deva. A highly gifted one. I listened completely lost, and it really wants to be heard. But why the two of you? Guess it likes us. Void didn't react, his eyes darting between me and the patron. Asra has an implanted blocker, and if I'm not mistaken, she can resist external influence with mixed results. Really? Void arched an eyebrow, and I realized I should explain. Hamming implanted a blocker. I thought it was to keep patrons or harmonauts from reading my thoughts. East shot me a suspicious look. Void touched his ear, a sharp thrill coming from his earpiece. This contact with the Capella servant destabilized the blocker. I don't think so. Hemming did the installation himself? I don't remember. Does it matter? Void tilted his head and pursed his lips. A faint twitch flickered at the corners of his mouth and eyes. Every now and then, something eerie, almost inhuman, crept into his expression. I thought I was used to Hammond's unnatural expressions, but he exists inside a doll. He imitates body movements in tone so as not to unsettle others. Void is flesh and blood, so why does he feel so artificial? Easter grimaced, rubbing his red-rimmed eyes. I spotted blood at the corner of his mouth. Guess I hit him too hard. No, we didn't. I didn't even know things like that existed. Wouldn't mind one myself. Don't you have enough scars already? Void's eyes lingered on Easter's throat before he turned away. Asra, can we talk in private? Keep saving, my friend. Keep saving. Okay, agree. I shot a quick glance at Easter and nodded. Void closed the kitchen door and paused. What is it? To be honest, I'm not actually saying yes and agreeing and going. For the purpose of actually dating this guy, it's more like I want to know what's going on. It's more like that. In fact, I think I was in the mood to do Hamming. Like it's probably the one I am more inclined to know more about. But I'm also interested in Void. And of course the other one too. But I would say it more like that, like Hamming, Void, and then Easter. So it was more like, I want to know what he wants to say. But this is the demo, we're not going anywhere, you know, we're not going anywhere. How are you feeling? What? Fine, well my back aches a bit. He nodded, accepting my answer, and stepped away from the door. That's all? You mentioned a illness. I want to make sure you're okay. The apartment is in the center, closer to the tower. He rested a hand on the wall. In houses like this, the influence of disharmony is dampened. But for a human, that's not enough. You seem sensitive. Sensitive? Is he talking about my reaction to resonance? I'll manage. Good. If it gets worse, tell me right away. I nodded absently. Didn't expect him to care how I was doing. Okay, it was nothing. He was just like, okay, being worried and all of it. Because I was like, does he want to talk about something that it's related, but he doesn't want to talk in front of Ista or something? Yeah. We returned to the living room. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you should drink more alcohol. Who, me? Are you joking? Any intoxicant, especially alcohol, is extremely forbidden during the long night. Humans often break that rule and pay with their lives. The SIGILLVM's whale can literally turn a weak body under the influence inside out. You are both young. You'll be fine. Nightmares and sore muscles beat disharmony. That could turn your brains to mush. He looked at me thoughtfully. Is that like a thing for the Russians, you know, the vodka? You need vodka, you know? All the time, it's fine. You can break the rules, we just need alcohol, you need vodka. I'm kidding, okay? I'm kidding, I'm joking. And the best advice a Capella servant can give is to get blackout drunk. Void remained silent, noticing the blood on the patron's lip. Are you injured? Ista let out a weary laugh, then winced, covering his mouth. Asra has a heavy hand. Any reason for the violence? I started to explain, but Ista brushed it off. It's fine, we were just bonding. Maybe he's like the type that likes that. You know, like a masochist or something. I don't know. You never know. I can see how well that went. I muttered a curse under my breath and glanced at the whiskey bottle. It's not vodka, it's whiskey. The doll's back in place. I'm keeping an eye on it, but you'll have to watch yourselves. With one last look at the patron, Void slipped back into the room. I'm speechless. Ista gave a faint chuckle and opened the whiskey bottle. Blessed resonance, a miracle gifted by the core. Shame it comes with a side of madness. I'm sorry. Oh, don't worry, I'm used to it. He poured the glasses full. What? What? It's whiskey. He poured the glasses full and handed one to me. Okay. Used to getting slapped? Ista took a sip and grimaced. Damn, it burns. Yeah, it burns. I'm really... Oh, okay, it was the slap thing. I thought it was another thing. I'm really sorry. Maybe we can find the first aid kit and... I mean, yeah, because he's drinking. And it's alcohol. And he has blood in there, you know. Oh, yeah. So it would sting. Better just drink. After we downed our first glasses... They downed the first glasses and they were full, like tiny glasses, right? Tiny glasses, right? The tension melted away. We both flushed, dodging any real conversation. What? Dude, why you getting naked? What's going on here? Okay, Ista shrugged it off. It's because of the alcohol, right? Ista shrugged off his coat and unbuttoned his shirt. I stared at the vivid scar on his throat. It was neatly formed, but something about it felt off. Is it fake? I guess not. It looks freshly opened. There were other scars too, a faint white line traced from his collarbones, vanishing under his shirt. Don't you have a few too many scars for such a young patron? He didn't answer, running his fingers along the faint scar, like he was seeing it for the first time. Does it hurt? The cheek? Terribly. Where do you hide that kind of strength in such a tiny frame? We're the same height, smartass. Are we? Easter glanced at my feet in heavy boots and after a pause started untying the laces. What are you doing? He didn't answer, fully focused on the knots. After untying the laces, he gently slipped the boots off my feet and set them aside. Maybe he shouldn't drink anymore. Then again, what a night. More has happened in a few hours than in a whole year. I refilled our glasses and handed one to Easter. I'm good. Yeah, you are good. And we are good too. A full glass of whiskey. Oh my god. I sighed, disappointed, and prompted my feet on the sofa. Easter followed the motion with his eyes. Am I breaking etiquette? Your socks are funny. To me, my black socks with their crooked hamster faces were picked as aesthetics. This has like hamsters. Okay. For me, it's like guinea pigs, because I love guinea pigs. It's like, it's my thing, you know. I do have a hamster right now because I cannot keep guinea pigs because of the hay, because I have like this really bad allergy. But I love guinea pigs, yeah. Show me yours. Bet they are boring. He gave a dry laugh and, scooting closer, pulled my feet onto his lap. His sudden closeness made my hands shake, and I quickly set the glass on the table before spilling it. All right, I've had enough too. Yeah, you did. Easter leaned back on the sofa, resting his hand on my feet. His fingers idly traced my calves, like he'd mistaken my legs for a cat. The awkwardness and tension from his touch melted away. Alcohol does have a way to play with your head. An unbearable drowsiness washed over me. A tap on my knee snapped me awake. I forced my sore eyes open. Easter had fallen asleep with my feet still in his lap. Pampushka was curled up by his head, her fluffy tail draped around his neck. Like, did you have a cat like this? Cause yeah, I had a cat that he had a thing of like he would only sleep on top of my head. It was like it was something else. But you know, cats do tend to have like these things, you know. Yeah. I finished the repair. We're lucky they didn't seal off the tower. He spoke softly, careful not to wake the patron or the cat. I gently pulled my legs from Easter's grasp. Void nodded towards the kitchen. Don't put off the call. You plan on standing there and eavesdropping? Yes. I hope he's too busy to be mad about the dropped call, and now Void's here too. Maybe you should tell him yourself. You'll do it better. That's your job. The comlink beeped. In the silence, Hamming's cold, detached voice came through. Listening, Void shot me a look and turned away. I knew Hamming well enough to tell he was furious. If it's my fault, I should probably apologize. Oh, let's keep putting some. Sure. Oh, okay. So it raises with one and decreases. So it raises with Hamming and decreases with Void. I cleared my throat, trying to hide my anxiousness. I'm really sorry about our last call, but you went too far with your jokes. And you know, the elevator caused awful interference. I nearly went deaf. And then in the apartment... Voight shot me another look and I let out a frustrated sigh. Perfect. I can't even apologize, right? You ignored my calls for the day to say that? Try again. Voight pursed his lips, stifling a laugh. I'm sorry. Fine, that's enough from you. You didn't call me just for that, did you? There was a doll in your apartment. What? More details. Inspector. Voight? Why are you two together? I quickly summed up everything that happened. Hemming didn't interrupt. When I finished, a weary sigh crackled through. Is everything calm in the SIGILLVM? I can't talk about that. Voight glanced at me like he was holding back a thought. You okay? I'll leave. Should I report this to the Capella? The doll's my responsibility. The Capella's core master has other things to worry about. So what do we do now? Hemming went quiet, and I could tell he was debating whether to share anything. You were going to give me some work to do. Yes, walking papushka, not fighting dolls. Voight, you examined it. Did you notice anything? There's a quartz sigil on the trachea. The seat's intact, but it's got a web of cracks inside, swollen and spreading fast. It tore the larynx. The limbs are deformed. For some reason, it's drawn to Asra and the young patron. It ignores me completely. A quartz sigil? They put that on everything the Capella produces. Hemming's body doesn't have one. And you found it in a bar in the lower sector? What was it doing there? Standing. Voight, I'm not in the right mood for this. Talk. There's a There's a Harmonauts workshop near the bar. He contacted me, asking me to check why the bar was still open. I checked. The doll was just standing in the storeroom, unnoticed by anyone. So that's what he was doing at the bar. Could the doll's Insta and I saw be disharmony effects caused by it? I tried to recall the map. The bar was fairly close to Hemming's and Ista's apartment. No, still too far. That's ridiculous. Disharmony can't be direct at someone specific. And its only source is the SIGILLVM tower. Trying to understand. No problems at the Capella lately? Business as usual. No Harmonauts gone missing. I don't track every Harmonaut, Inspector. Some are on long missions outside the city, some haven't left the tower for years. Got it. You don't recognize the seed in the doll? Voight stayed quiet, his expression showing he wasn't thrilled with the question. The thing is, like, the doll looks like Hemming. Which is even more weird, right? I took you into service for one purpose, Voight, and instead of doing your job, you're tagging along with my servant. I smirked, catching the twitch at the corner of his lips. Wait, I'll be there soon. Where are you staying? At Ista Amalur's apartment. I'll send the address. You, damn it, did the entire patron staff hear me just now? It's just the three of us here, and Papushka. That boy is with you too? He's asleep right now. Good, tell him I'll help with his difficulties. Once I'm out of the SIGILLVM, we'll discuss the details. And me? Do as Voight says. The signal cut off. He's furious. Oh, really? How observant of you. Voight flashed a grim smile. No need to be rude. So I'm your servant now. Should I curtsy or sing an ode to the Capella? The Quartz save us from servants like you. and your tongue's too sharp for your own good. Pursing my lips, I humbly bowed my head. Void stepped closer and gave me a firm pat on the back, making me stand straight. I have no desire to humiliate you, Asra. He's awake already? The door flew open. Sleepy Ishtar shot us an annoyed glance. What's this glaring about? Good morning. Ishtar grimaced, unsuccessfully trying to fix his ruined hairstyle. The inspector will be here soon. He'll help you. Ishtar nodded and, stepping closer, leaned his head on my shoulder. Void raised an eyebrow. Still half asleep, patron. I froze, caught off guard by the weight on my shoulder. The gesture felt warm yet oddly unsettling. What's with the sudden affection? What's wrong? Void looked at me, puzzled. A vague sense of what happened clicked in my head. I cleared my throat. Not used to alcohol, huh? Stress? A bit of drinking? Any weird dreams? Dreams? Ishtar straightened abruptly, studying me. Fear and embarrassment flashed across his face. Oh, now I get it. Pull yourself together. Ishtar, flustered and confused, ran out of the kitchen. Boy. I tugged at my jacket. He's so gentle when he's half asleep. Almost feels wrong to tease him. Was he in a morning call kind of state? Is that what they're trying to say in here, like imply? I think it was that. Fallen under his charm already. I'd like to see your face if a cute girl suddenly leaned on your shoulder. You can try it and find out. Cut it out. Your flirting gives me chills, and I'll complain to Hammond. Got it? Void smirked, glancing out the window. How terrifying. Don't Harmonauts have a ton of vows? Won't they spank you for flirting with a human? Unable to hold back, he laughed out loud. Honestly, if anyone needs a spanking, it's you for inappropriate behavior towards a Capella servant and a young patron. Ishtar came back. The cat zipped in after him, her tail curling around his legs. Who's spanking who here? The Capella servants threaten me. You're my witness, Ishtar. He gaped at Void, puzzled. You sure your brain didn't short circuit? Harmonauts get like that with age. I'm young. Then you're just an asshole by nature. Ishtar choked, staring at me. Realizing what I said, I gave a quick bow. I apologize. I didn't mean to be rude. Now I see why the inspector delayed introducing us. Enough, you're the one provoking her. Exactly, he keeps staring holes through me and pushing my buttons. Void kept studying me. It felt like he wanted to dig his fingers into my skull. I straightened slowly, focusing on the tile patterns. I'm not saying another word to him unless I absolutely have to. So we just wait for the inspector? You two, yes. I'll return to the bar and check the place again. That doll hasn't vanished yet, and it's very similar to the one I saw the first time. It's a disharmony effect, a vivid, tangible hallucination. Okay, that's why they probably had the same face and all of it. Yeah, I really think you did have something kind to it. With Ghost in the Shell, right? I would say like the second movie or something. Kind of had like something about that. I don't know. It's been probably 10 or more years. Yeah, I don't remember anymore. A vivid, tangible hallucination. I sealed the seed as best I could, so there shouldn't be more incidents like that. We've had enough of the SIGILLVM's wail. I've never seen disharmony take that shape. It feels more like resonance. My father can do something similar. I glanced at Ista with interest. I'm not the only one who finds this strange. A doll's just a mechanism. Resonance does not cure in them, but could it be causing disharmony? Does the doll radiate like the tower, or is it something else? Something else. If it was a tower, I'll feel it too. To me, the doll feels more like a crypt. So a crypt. The array of halls where rituals of repose and seed preservation take place. The bones of dead Devas crystallize beneath the Harmonauts' hands and are scattered as dust above the city. Human bones remain sealed within the crypt's walls until the day they too join the dusty winds over the city. So it's just like dust around them in the air from, like, let's call it like ashes of, you know, the bones, and the Devas crystallized whatever things that they have. Is it? I don't know. I'm trying to understand. I feel more like a crypt. Okay. It's like kryptonite. A flood of hazy, eerie images hit my mind. The blocker overheated, buzzing loudly in the kitchen. Your blocker is about to burn out. Mind if I take a look? And slice my face to ribbons while you're at it? No need, it's been like that since installation. Like a young Devas, celestial flesh rejecting metal. I'm human, if you say so. Maybe you should hurry back to the bar? Void gave a sour smile and left the kitchen. Ista watched him go, his eyes tense. By the quar, there's so much static between you two, it's hard to breathe. No clue why he's picking on me. Hopefully, once Hemming gets here, I can go home. Want to take another look at the doll? Last time wasn't enough for you? I want to look at it without fear. The inspector is the same after all. I don't understand with whom we got down, though. Let me see. Do we have like a way to check? No, we don't, right? Because he went down, and I don't know with whom it was. Was it with him? I don't know. Nothing of the sort. He's a sweetheart. Oh, it was probably because of my choice. So it went down with Void, and now that we are talking about it, it went down with Easter too. It's probably that. Easter raised an eyebrow. It's none of my business, but are you sure you're just his servant and not... He trailed off, too nervous to finish. What? His lover? You said it. Listen, being a lover to a doll is a bit complicated. He's got hands. Yeah, that's kind of like the curious thing I have about Hemming. Which is, apparently he doesn't have sensations, and I'm kind of curious about him in terms of like, if he falls in love and, you know, wants to be with that person, how does he feel the sensations? Do you understand? He's got hands and a tongue. Merciful core, I'm too sober for this conversation. I'll pretend this talk never happened. Let's go look at the doll. The moment we stepped into the room, the doll twitched and locked its eyes on us. Creepy thing. Ista let out a sigh, edged closer, and crouched beside it. If I start shaking, be kind enough to step in. You want to look into it with resonance? I'll try. Don't break it, or yourself. He nodded, focusing on the doll. I moved closer, ready to intervene. Silence fell, For a moment, all sounds vanished, and I heard the faint, slow thud of my heartbeat. The doll's eye twitched, fixing on me. A question echoed in my head. Will you find it? I narrowed my eyes at its blank face. The features shimmered, almost shifting into something else. For a split second, it felt eerily familiar. Do you hear? Esther shot upright, jolting me out of the trance. Did you hear that? It's a plea for help, and... He went quiet, his lips pressed into a thin line. Go on. Something awful happened in this SIGILLVM, Asra, but it's just trapped emotions in the seed, nothing clear, jumbled images like they are from different Devas or humans. I studied the doll, hoping to see or hear something more. You ask stupid questions, and you can't even give me a hint? If something happened in the tower, Hemming should know more. Yeah, like, Hemming is also... I'm very curious about Hemming, because it seems quite a lot that he's keeping quite a lot of secrets from us, right? But maybe he really cannot talk about it with anyone, you know? I hope so. I wanted to figure out where the doll came from and how it ended up on the city streets, but I got nothing. There's nothing inside it except a world of fragmented emotions and visions. A familiar feeling. My earliest memory standing on a dead city street during the long night. No past, just a choking fear pushing me away from the tower. He still looked at me, worried, like he was seeing those images himself. Stay out of my head. What? You are crying, Asra. I blinked, brushing my cheek, surprised to find tears. What the hell? Crying in front of a patron is the last thing I need. Do you need anything? Water? A comforting hug? I told you that I kind of wanted... I mean, this is a demo. Maybe I shouldn't worry about it. I want to do the other ones, though. Refuse. Just a weird reflex. He's fine. He ended up being kind of like fine. I kind of want to do the other ones more than him. Just a weird reflex. Happens to everyone. I shook my head and rushed out of the room. Ista trailed after me. The next few hours passed in dull anticipation of Voight's return. Ista unscrewed the caps off every bottle he could find and tossed them around for Pampushka to chase. The cat went wild, zooming around the apartment, the caps clinking and rattling under her paws. The door creaked. Voight froze, crunching a pile of crabs underfoot. Pampushka hissed and puffed up so much she looked like a fuzzy ball. I see you're making good use of your time. He scooped up the caps and flicked them aside, eyeing the cat as she pounced after them. I looked inside the doll. You've got a death wish? Something's happening in the SIGILLVM, and the doll's connected to it. I know. The door swung open again, and I leaped off the sofa, spotting Hemming. Ista stood and gave a quick bow. My apologies for the wait. Hearing Hemming's voice, Pampushka turned around. Her sharp, whining meow melted into a sweet purr. Shameless little thing. Inspector, an honor to meet you in person. Ista faltered, bowed his head, and backed away slightly. My apologies that my servants made themselves at home, young patron. They are excellent company, Inspector. Pampushka dug her claws into Hemming's trousers, and he leaned it down, helping the cat onto his shoulder. Good to hear. First, I'd like to speak with each of you privately. I'll open the study. Thank you, Asra. I raised my head and straightened. His gaze softened slightly. Behave yourself. I am the picture of good behavior. He glanced at Void. So I've heard. Don't do that again. Huh? What's he talking about? I glanced at Void. The Harmonaut rolled his eyes. What did you sing to him? Hammond smiled and followed the patron. The long night is supposed to end this week. Maybe it's not that serious after all? The tower hasn't been sealed yet. No. Why? They always sealed it at the start of the second week and opened it on the last day for the whole city. Void shrugged. He seemed to know no more than I did. The mechanisms are failing. The SIGILLVM has been overflowing with disharmony for years. Maybe it's reached its limit now. Isn't that what the long night is for? You seal the tower, fix whatever's leaking, and then celebrate the repairs properly. Repairs? He gave a small smirk, brushed his hair, and then burst into laughter. Oh, forgive the clumsy commoner for her ignorant words. Asra, Harmonauts can't repair the SIGILLVM. It's a creation of the core, and many of its floors have a life of their own. His smile faded. He looked at the floor. He hasn't returned to us for too long. Ordinary rituals aren't enough anymore. His words made me shiver. Enduring the wail of the SIGILLVM for a couple of weeks, a year, is one thing, but feeling its pressure for longer, that's unbearable. If only the core can solve the problem, what can the inspector do? First, find the source of the problem. After that, it will either get easier or worse. Soon Easter returned. The faint trembling of his wings revealed his unease. Flustered, he pressed them with his palms, smoothed the feathers, and sighed deeply. Everything's all right. He took another deep breath. Void nodded. The inspector asked for you, Harmonaut. Okay. Glancing at me, Void left. Will he help you? No idea. Hard to tell anything from that dull face of his. Familiar look. When Hammond gets interested in something, he forgets to move or even show emotion. Did he say anything about the doll? He asked about the first encounter and what I saw through resonance. Nothing new. He seemed more curious about whether the stress was going to make me sick. Did it? The only thing I've had all this time was a glass of whiskey. I still feel queasy. Easter collapsed onto the couch. I'm dying for something sweet or greasy and lots of it. Cake? Chocolate with nuts. Groaning, he covered his eyes. Void returned and nodded towards the study door. That was like quick for both of them. You are next. Okay, I entered the study and a sharp pang shot through my temples. Unlike the other rooms, here Hammond's presence was distinctly tangible. The air grows heavier wherever he lingers for more than a few minutes. Hammond sat motionless at the desk. Sit. Chair or lap, you choose. I fought the urge to roll my eyes. He still remembers that stupid joke, figures. Someone's in a good mood? He stayed silent, waiting for me to sit. Glancing around, I noticed Pampushka in the corner. She was watching my legs with predatory focus. She'll pounce the moment I get too close to him. I sat down on the chair, eyeing the cat warily. Oh, so like, because yeah, at the beginning I was like, it felt like Pampushka was kind of like wary with anyone, but apparently it's not that. She's just gets like that when she gets near him. Okay? Okay, now I see it. Right now, you should worry about something other than Pampushka. I'd rather think only about her things. Hamming tried to smile but froze, as if he'd forgotten how to do it. I should have taken you and Pampushka with me to the tower. The doll would have shown up in the city anyway, but you'll have found out much later, so really, I did you a favor. Indeed, such a helpful servant you are. When you finally stop ignoring my calls, I might even offer a compliment or two. He's sulking. If I had time to find a cat outfit, he'll forget about it in a heartbeat. What a complicated expression. Plotting mischief again? You like it. The last time I heard that... He stopped mid-sentence, remembering something. I had too many opportunities to distract him, but I was certain he was thinking of that particular incident. I don't know what incident are you talking about. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it's like 8. AB. Remind him. Okay, recalling your servant without clothes, Inspector? How vulgar. He chuckled, and for a moment I felt calmer. Sometimes his emotions felt genuine. Were you planning to repeat the exercise? In someone else's house? No, I still have some common sense. I'm going to say some common sense. I still have some sense of shame. Shame, of course. It's been a few months, but sometimes I still feel embarrassed about that. You stopped using stimulants. That has nothing to do with your foolish stunt. Liar? Maybe. Is it so hard to just praise me? He tightened his lips and glanced at Pampushka. You were naked on my lap, forbidding me to touch you while babbling endlessly about the power of imagination. Which part of that exactly deserves praise, Diwal? Okay, now I'm seeing the situation. I instantly flushed at the memories. Delighted by my reaction, he smiled warmly. Nevertheless, thank you. You do know how to lift my mood, but that's not why I called you here. Should I keep quiet about everything and go home? No. Do you need to get your hair done? Sweetheart, just hush for a moment. I grimaced. He knows I can't stand being called that. Hamming stood up from the desk and I got up too. He froze, staring at me without blinking. I didn't screw up that much for him to look at me like a criminal. Repeat what the doll said, word for word. The first time, they don't hear, do you? Who are they? No idea. You spoke to the doll. What did you say before hearing that? I tensed, trying to recall. Harmonauts. I said I'll give them the seed. Harmonauts don't hear. Are you sure? Maybe you should look at the doll instead of interrogating me? I didn't ask for your opinion. I stumbled and looked down. It was the first time Hamming had spoken to me in that tone. It looked more amusing from the outside. Is that all? While Easter was examining the doll, I heard it again. Will you find it? Do you hear? But I didn't get it. You don't have to. Now that stinks. I have 2 theories. Both require testing. Care to share? He blinked for the first time in this conversation and gave a genuine smile. Want to be a useful servant, sweetheart? I want you to stop calling me that. First, I'll test my theories. You are going with Void to the Capella now. He'll bring me an empty seat. And you'll watch him. What do you mean, watch him? Do you don't trust him? Asra, do you know what good servants do? Yes, they follow orders. And don't ask pointless questions, so get moving. I need a seat, not a word to Void about our conversation. He knows what he needs to know. I hesitated, and Hamin tilted his head. Fine, ask away. Why an empty seed? It's just a crystal, a very expensive crystal. But maybe the idea is to transfer? But is there a way to do it without, because apparently you need like that initiate ritual to be able to do it, right? I don't know. He stepped closer, pointing at his throat. A seed holds every moment of life. In human bodies, it even takes root. I don't know why, but humans are perfect soil for them. For Devas, it's just an initiation ritual. Their bodies are close to the core, even without seeds. It's like complicated for me to understand, to fully understand what's going on. But I'm actually quite liking it. It's just that I think it's me. I'm not very good with like interpreting certain things in terms of like science fiction. Sometimes I need a lot of time to process things when it comes to science fiction. Yeah, I'm like that. But tell me, how can a seed grow and live in something that was never alive? I focus on the patterns of scars of the scars on his throat. You are alive. Harmonauts see my existence differently. He lowered his hand and looked at Pampushka, who was gleefully clawing the chair. To them, I'm a memory of life, frozen in time, bound inside an eternal body for eternal service. Well, yeah, kinda is like that, right? That's a lot of self-awareness for a memory, Hamin. He smirked. My seed and this body are an exception to all rules. All others are just echoes of a soul. Without a living body, they are little more than obituaries. Though some believe it could be otherwise, because of me, I need a pure seed to confirm that chimeras remain nothing more than grim fairy tales. Void mentioned chimeras. He spent most of his life among the dead, harmonauts from the crypt. Let's just say they encounter things that shouldn't exist more often than most, and they call anything unnatural a chimera. So he meant a phenomenon, not a specific creature. Hamming tilted his head, studying my throat. Showing some interest, are we? Am I not allowed? You are, sweetheart. I'm tired of handling it all alone. Despite his annoying term of endearment, I broke into a smile. From a simple servant to the inspector's colleague, and soon enough, the inspector's title itself. Deflate your cheeks before you burst with pride. Just a little praise from him was enough to make me feel better. More important, Hamming patted my shoulder and gestured to the door. Get to work. You'll have time to daydream later. I bowed and left the study. Noticing me, Issa jumped up from the couch and handed me a card. Buy me some food, I beg you, by the quar. Anything. That bad? A bit more, and I'll start chewing the sofa. We don't have time for shopping, and the stores are long since closed. I snatched the card before Issa could change his mind. I'll find something. He didn't say the food had to be high quality, right? If I'm lucky, I'll swing by home. I stock it up on all sorts of tasty junk for the entire long night. Thanks, Diwal. Void opened the door and nodded. Watch the Harmonaut. Which part of him exactly? I expected us to head to the main building of the Capella, but instead of the Grand Temple, we ended up in the smallest one. Empty. Where are all the Harmonauts? Scanning the hall, Void nudging me in the back, a jolt of pain hit my lower back. Move. I froze, wincing at the fading pain. Diwal, come in. His voice grated on my ear. I glared at his leg, regretting not wearing pointed heels. As if sensing my mood, he grabbed my thigh and yanked it upward. Better watch your tiny little feet. I pulled the tie back and hissed as he tugged it again with ease. Let go. What's the magic word? Let go. I'll tell Hemming everything. He tugged once more and I froze, my forehead bumping into his chest. The magic word? Anger and shame instantly flared in my chest. The blocker crackled and I pursed my lips, calming my breath. I kicked him in the knee. Pain jolted through my leg. Void raised his eyebrows in surprise. Yeah, I mean, kicking him probably won't do absolutely nothing. Merciful Core, is he made of stone? Or is it the uniform? It's like I kicked myself. I carefully lowered my foot. The pain dulled slightly, easing into a faint throb. Didn't break it, did you? I shook my head and he let go of the tie. Let that be a lesson. Sorry, I got a bit angry. I noticed. He leaned down to my eye level, pressing his forehead against mine. I swallowed and looked away. Have you lost your mind? We're in a temple. Right, and you just kicked a Capella servant in the knee. Is there really no one here? No one at all? Hearing something, Void exhaled softly. The air around him noticeably warmed. My anger faded. Blinking, I stepped back. Void straightened, still eyeing me. Pretty sensitive, aren't you? What was that? Nothing now. Forget it. He gestured to the side and hurried ahead. Watching him walk away, I tested my foot. The pain had fully subsided. At first glance, the temple corridor seemed empty, but closer listening revealed ritual chants behind the walls. Maybe this isn't a temple, but the Harmonauts' living quarters? I thought they lived under the main Capella building, but apparently not. Void stopped at one of the doors, opened it, and stepped aside. I peeked into the room, but hesitated to enter. Need a formal invitation? We came for the seat. You keep them under your pillow? They are in the crypt. You can't go there. Wait here. I don't know, but Hemming told us to observe him, right? Yeah, Hemming told me to watch him. If I sit here, I won't learn anything. Yeah, because I was thinking about that. I'm the inspector's servant. Make an exception. And I want to see an empty seat myself. Why are they kept in the crypt instead of a better place? Void glanced at me and smirked. Suddenly he pushed me into the room. Void, I yanked at the door, dismayed to find it was locked with a code. Let me out. I pressed my ear to the door. If Void heard me, he didn't react. Did he figure out the inspector sent me to watch him? The panel beeped at a few obvious combinations. I had to give up. Jerk, I'll turn this place upside down and you'll be cleaning up for days. I looked around, noting the cozy room. The setup reminded me of my apartment. At least we have similar tastes in something. I wandered around, searching for anything interesting or incriminating. The monitors were locked. The books were just children's fairy tales. A notebook was filled with random scribbles. You led a boring life, Void. I checked the closet, quickly scanning the shelves and the space under neatly folded clothes. I spotted underwear. Okay. Catch it up. A set of knives sat on the countertop next to packets of instant noodles, and the idea of sabotaging his underwear lost its appeal. And here's food for the patron, taste of poverty and mint jelly. I went back to exploring the room. There's gotta be something interesting in here. I noticed a soft platypus toy tucked among the blanket folds. Maybe this isn't his room, or he sleeps hugging a stuffed toy. Approaching the bed, I felt the cold sheets, the pillow, and after a pause, lifted the corner of the mattress. The best place for dirty little secrets, thinking about them before bed? Under the fabric was a stack of crumpled, faded photos. I checked the room again. He probably doesn't sleep under cameras. Everyone needs a bit of privacy. I pulled out the photos and grimaced. Merciful core, are these Devas skulls? I'll rather you kept porn here, honestly. The door opened. Void smirked, noticing the find in my hands. What are these? He approached and glanced at the photos like he'd forgotten what they were. Leftovers from my training days. Liar. He didn't respond, eyeing the room to check what I'd touched. Who is it? Mine? Of course it's yours, and of course it's under your mattress. No, it's literally my skull. Oh, grimacing, I held up the photo, comparing it to his face. Way too cute to be yours. He bit his lips, holding back laughter. Setting the photos on the bed, I whipped my hands on my trousers. I worked in the crypt with dead bodies and seats. That work requires a very different approach than any other branch of the Capella. I thought burials meant grinding bones to dust, scattering over the city, and singing a sad song. You don't need to cut yourself open for that. Does it hurt? My own pain doesn't bother me. Whose does? The dead. Bodies are cold and silent, but seeds remember every moment of life. Few meet death calmly. Humans suffer the most. He trailed it off. Why the interest? Want to become a harmonaut? A human couldn't do that, no matter how much they wanted to. The Capella hopes that will change one day. He averted his gaze, clearly unwilling to continue. Talking to him feels like chewing ash. Footsteps echoed in the corridor, and Void rushed to the door. Too late. A tall, pale harmonaut entered the room. I flinched, struck by how much taller he was than I. What do they feed them in the Capella? I'm barely reaching his waist. Oh my god, really? Back home, are we? What a rare sight. Void moved forward, shielding me from the stranger's gaze. Why is he hiding me? Am I not supposed to be here? Why aren't you in the SIGILLVM? The inspector returned to the city on personal business. Rituals are temporarily suspended. He leaned forward, looking over Void's shoulder. The light in his eyepiece flickered a couple of times. And who's this tiny lady? A guest? On the temple? Or of your bed, or of your bedroom? Well done, Void, you lied. Now deal with it. Santi, mind your own business. Stay out of mine. That's one of the SIGILLVM's core masters. Worst possible scenario for a first meeting. There are more suitable places for dates. I'll decide that for myself. He took a step closer. Void grabbed my hand and yanked me behind him. There's always a second button beneath the first. Don't forget yourself. He fell silent, the light in his eyepiece blinked. Santi stepped to the side. Void turned with him, still shielding me. Don't be difficult, I just want to see your guest. No. This is just ridiculous. I yanked my hand from the Harmonaut's grip and stepped forward. Santi leaned down, hands on his knees. It feels like we've met before. You are remarkably similar to a certain lady I know. What's your name? That lady and I even share the same name. The Core Master probably knows every Deja in the Protectorship personally. Asra Diwal, servant of the Core's Inspector. A pleasure to meet you, Santi, Core Master of the SIGILLVM Spire. Okay, he's the Spire one. He oversees the tower's upper floors, the one who greet the Core first, which means Neff must be the Core Master of the Labyrinth. I didn't know the Inspector had taken on a servant. I gave a slight bow, and his hand immediately touched the back of my head. His fingers slid behind my ear, probing the skin. How old are you? His hand moved to my other ear. What's going on here? Is he looking for wings? How charmingly tactless. About 20, sir. At least I look around that age, probably not far from the truth. Quite young. He smoothed my hair and stepped back. Done checking, then leave. Santi tilted his head thoughtfully, and I took a step closer to Void. The Core Master's interest unnerved me. I'll be delighted to meet you in the SIGILLVM, Lady Diwal. I assume the Inspector will bring you to the tower and introduce you to society. These days, humans are better off staying away from the tower. He straightened up, his head nearly brushing the ceiling. Temporary difficulties. Don't disturb others. Unnecessary noise, especially of this kind, is unbecoming of proper servants. He bowed and left the room. Void listened to the fading footsteps for a few moments before closing the door. Why lie and hide me? Hammond's keeping you away from the Harmonauts. I figure I'll hide you from him too. He wasn't hiding me, there was just no reason for introductions. Perhaps. Seems like Void has a tense relationship with the Core Master. Is that why he serves the Inspector instead of working in the crypt? Do you have the seed? Yes, we'll head back to the patron once Santi leaves the temple. Seriously, what's the big deal? You're acting like it's some crisis out of thin air. I'll rather not explain to him why you're in my room. Just say it's the Inspector's order? Simple, right? Void pressed something on the panel and the room suddenly turned cool. Strictly speaking, you're supposed to accompany me, not hang out in my bedroom. And who showed me in here in the first place? He grimaced and sat in the chair. I could have stayed in the main hall since I'm not allowed in the crypt. You could have. Maybe you even wanted to pray to the Core while you were at it. Now that's below the belt. I stepped closer and Void's gaze dropped. Have you no shame? Come here. He wouldn't dare to do anything weird. I came closer. Void spread his knees. You... stop it. Just come here. Not gonna kick me again, are you? I'm going to regret this. I took a step, stepping between his leg. His palm rested on my stomach. His fingers deftly unbuttoned the bottom of my shirt, grazing my skin. I don't even know. I don't know. Okay. I don't know, joke, maybe? I have no idea. Should I unbutton my pants myself? If you're so eager to show off, go ahead. Sandy asked not to make noise. Fair warning, I'm loud. Then you'll have to bite down on your tie. I grimaced, watching his hand. His hand paused over a scar. Where's it from? I don't remember. He fell silent, intently listening to the sound of my body. After a moment, his hand moved higher and paused at the edge of my bra. I looked at the lamp in the closet. Its blue glow is the tension of his hand growing warmth. Is this why he brought me here? It'll be more ironic under the quartz fresco. Finally, he pulled his hand back and buttoned my shirt. A Harmonaut ritual. The only rituals I perform are burials, and I hope you never end up in my crypt, Asra. I'm sure even your lifeless body would find a way to puzzle me. I tugged at my shirt. I'll make sure to write in my will that I want to go to you. He gave a faint smile. Seriously, what did you do? Checked you over. You are healthy, though some Deva tried to change that. I absently touched my stomach. You figured that out from the scar? From the internal damage, only resonance leaves marks like that. It's common with patrons. He licked his lips, eyeing my throat. But I've never seen it in a human before. Hard to be certain without the seed, but I doubt I'm wrong. There's no reason to refuse treatment. Harmonauts can help you recover fully. Why resist? Did Hammond forbid it? My memories were fragmented, chaotic. Whether Void was right or not, I didn't know. Still, the idea that I was a victim of resonance seemed absurd. Devas never used violence against humans. Accidents happen, but never intentionally. That would be like spitting in the quar's face. What kind of damage? He tilted his head, his pupils dilating. Like the pattern of branching lightning, I'm surprised you're alive, and that your body nearly healed itself. But what's stranger is who did it, were they punished? I've never heard of a case like this. He touched his earpiece. A faint, dissonant tune played. Is Hemming investigating? I don't remember anything, and this is the first I'm hearing about the nature of the damage. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read, I'm trying to read and trying to, connect dots and understand at the same time. Do you understand? So sometimes it's like, it feels like I'm not giving the right intonation and all of it, because it's like, it's like I'm trying to process things at the same time that I'm trying to say them, you know? And it comes out kind of like awkward, and I don't read in the right way and all of it. Because it's like I'm processing the situation at the same time. He blinked slowly and touched his earpiece again, silencing the tune. And you haven't tried to figure it out. If a Deva attacked a human, they should face judgment. Could it be what happened to us? But the thing is, it seems like she doesn't remember, right? The last thing I expected was discussing my scars and past with Void. Hamming told me not to open up to him, but if I really lost my memory because of a Deva, better talk to the inspector first. The thing is that, imagine, maybe Hammond actually knows about what happened to us. Imagine that he might even be implied on that, and he doesn't want us to talk with anyone about it. Do you understand? It could be like that kind of situation too. Like, he's keeping us at close, right? And at the same time, he might be hiding secrets about something that he might know about us. We don't know if that could be some kind of a situation in here. How long do we have to keep hiding? Not long. When I didn't respond, he added, 10 minutes tops. I glanced at his knee. go to the first one. It doesn't matter. Do we want to do this? I don't know. Okay, whatever. I can't just keep standing here forever. I push his hand aside and carefully perched on his side. Void didn't seem surprised by my gesture, just shifted slightly. Didn't even bat an eye. Even Hammond would have been surprised. Comfortable? After a bit of fidgeting, I had to admit with disappointment that his knees were hard and the rough fabric of his uniform spread a clammy chill even through my thick trousers. Not the comfiest furniture. Void smiled, adjusting his position. He was trying to move me away, as if embarrassed. Don't be shy, just pretend I'm Pampushka. He laughed, and I couldn't help but smile. He can be cute when he wants to. Were you affecting my mood? Not intentionally. He pointed at his ear, listened briefly, and shook his head. You don't hear it, but some melodies can mess with your head. I think it's best not to sing around you. I remembered the harmonauts chant in the lower sector streets. Their chanting often sounded more like faulty wiring than music. Doesn't have to be a ritual chant. You could grab a guitar, for example. He glanced at me. What, are regular songs too much for you? Asra, are you asking me to sing for you? I patted his knee. I've already got a front row seat. Is that what this is called? Sorry, but I only sing for the dead and for those I love. You're a harmonaut. What loved ones could there be? Or will you only whisper melodies to the choir when you kneel? He lowered his head, glanced at my hands, and sighed. I haven't taken all the vows yet. Such a blunt hint, be more subtle. He looked up, then laughed, catching my meaning, and covered his eyes with his hand. Would subtle be enough for you? I looked at his stomach, then lower. The uniform outlined his shape, but not enough to reveal everything. And which one of us lacks shame again? Can I touch? He arched an eyebrow. But can he feel excitement in that matter? Do you understand what I'm trying? I don't know. Okay. Touch what? I reached it out and Void cocked my hand. No. He sighed and glanced at the monitor by the door. We can go. Already, but it's still... He let go of me and moved his leg, reluctantly stood up. Glancing at the screen, Void opened the door. I grabbed the pack of noodles under his disapproving gaze and hurried out of the room. When we returned to the patron's house, Easter rushed over us, trembling with impatience. I held up the package... I held up the packages and he exhaled in relief. Without ice cream on the side, these noodles taste worse than styrofoam. His culinary tastes made my stomach turn. Easter inspected the package, lingering on the list of ingredients. Are you sure these are noodles and not building materials? I'm telling you, it's delicious with ice cream. Everything tastes good with ice cream. You'd eat meat with ice cream too? I'll eat road dust if I had to. Hammond entered the living room, cradling Papushka. Why did it take so long? Santi's in the city, you could have warned me. Hammond gently placed the cat on the floor. She immediately flopped onto her back, lazily offering her belly for scratches. He didn't let you take the seat? He did, that's not the issue. But he saw Asra. I don't see the issue. Because there isn't one. You think that's not an issue? You kept her hidden from me for a year. His shout made me flinch, and Void grimaced. Easter shook the noodle pack and lightly nudged my shoulder. That's it, like, that's the thing, like, she has been hidden from probably, like, most people from Hamming, and it kind of makes you wonder why, you know? So, sorry. I don't know, maybe it's, like, connected to the fact that maybe he knows some kind of secret about her or did something to us, or I don't know. And I'm kind of like thinking about that. Come on, keep me company. Let's eat somewhere away from the tense crowd. I knew he wanted to meet face to face, but this is a bit much, isn't it? Bon appetit to both of you. Hammond's voice made it clear we should get out of here. Despite his hunger, Easter ate little, picking at his food reluctantly. After barely eating half his plate, he pushed it away and sighed. Any good? Disgusting. Thanks to you, I won't be able to think of food as something pleasant for a long while. I nodded and kept eating. Easter watched me silently, putting me off my foot. Can you not stare? What's Void's problem? You've known him longer than I have. You'll know better. He glanced at the noodles. We're not exactly close. If things had worked out, Void could have been my mentor. I slurped the noodles and gross mint sauce dripped down my... gross. Okay, I slurped the... Sorry, because sometimes I need to... I slurped the noodles and gross mint sauce dripped down my chin. Easter pushed a pack of wet wipes my way. It's the thing of like me reading in a raw way, then I like, okay, it's not like that. You were planning to become a harmonaut? Grimacing, Easter grabbed a wipe and handed it to me. With a sigh, I wiped my mouth. I wanted to. Resonance ruined everything. It blocked my path to the capella, let alone the crypt. Really, what's the issue then? Or was it your family? They weren't thrilled, but now I'm not sure what any of them ever expected from me. I suddenly realized I didn't know Easter's place in the dynasty. Dynasties are vast. He could be a son of one of the Devas or an Amalur heir. Don't tell me you're the son of the senior patron. He snorted, cleared his throat, and raised his chin. His wings spread, forming a halo around his head. Mind your manners, commoner, for before you stands the very blood of Amalur. Merciful Quor, hold on. I'll drop to my knees in just a second. Let me finish eating first. He sighed, lowering his wings, and winced at a feather cog in his hair. Watching Easter gently free the feather from his hair, I always forget to put like the... of his hair, I thought of Pampushka's tail. She sits indoors all day, yet her tail's always mated. If she had wings too, I'll shave her bald. I didn't think servants could be so easygoing. Maybe I was wrong to refuse them. Friends would suit you better than servants. Less useful, maybe, but more... More what? My only friend is a grumpy cat. Friends sounds nice. Don't look at me. I'll make a bad friend. And I'll make a bad patron and no harmonaut at all. What would a fancy boy like you even want with the Capella? Boy? Diwal, don't forget yourself. I'm much older than you. Technically, yes, but mentally I am older. By the time your kind learns to stand, humans have already discovered the thrills of puberty. Yeah, sure, why don't you wipe your mouth, elder? Under Easter's insistent stare, I wiped my face again, thoroughly this time. Damn noodles, stupid sauce. I was eating carefully, praise the Quor, at least my shirt's still clean. The protectorship is a rather oppressive order. Weighty matters, grave decisions, a stifling sense of responsibility. Checking my sleeves for stains, I felt a bit better. You left your family. Why worry about it now? Ista didn't answer, staring blankly into the corner of the kitchen. He's hiding something big. Big enough to run to the inspector. Maybe the Amalurs are losing their reverence for the Quar? Or he left because he didn't share their views? No, that's too mild. Family disagreements wouldn't drive him to hemming. Why do you live alone? I wasn't sure if patrons ever lived alone. Family servants, or at least dolls, always seemed to tag along. Instead of answering, he steered the conversation elsewhere. Have you ever wondered what would happen if a Devas seed were placed inside a human? Could it be... I don't know, could it be that that's our case and that's why we have that star-shaped thing on our throat? I don't know. Oh, great topic to spark my appetite. Why not proceed to sewer talk next? You'll get a corpse and the devil would be executed for sheer stupidity. What else could happen? Yeah, but I'm like thinking and I'm like, could it be her case? Yeah, could it be her case? What if the humans survived? Then they'll die soon after, maybe 5 seconds later, and the Harmonauts would spend years laying that soul to rest. Ask Void if you want the gory details. What an optimistic outlook. Sighing, I pushed away my empty plate. The leftover spiced broth was as bad as this conversation. Its violence against the soul, the body, and everything human. What could they possibly feel when something alien awakens in their mind? It's stronger, faster, it feels every nerve, and those nerves burn. A shadow crossed the patron's gaze for a moment. He quickly looked down and smiled. I had a feeling this conversation was a test. Clever little schemer, even for his age. That is exactly the kind of speech the protectorship is missing. In their struggle for humankind, the noble patrons regard you as a fragile gift from the core. And you see it differently? He clasped his hands together, his wings twitched. I don't want to see anything, I don't want to hear, and I definitely don't want to decide. His gaze darkened, a faint glow of resonance pulsing in his eyes. I can hear the city's pulse as if it were my own. There's enough life here already. The best choice is to leave what's his untouched. Human or Deva, we're all equal before the core. I studied his eyes entranced. His voice, stripped of its youthful bravado, drew me in. And you say you're a bad patron? He chuckled sheepishly, scratching his cheek. For one strange girl, I am apparently a good patron. Wonderful. I'll be sure to tell my father. He'll shed his last feathers from pride. Is the protectorship worried about the human population? I don't think that was a problem. There are far more humans in this city than Devas, even counting the Harmonauts. There used to be far more. Humans are dying out, that's a fact. Centuries pass and your people are fading. One day only memories will remain. That's not what the core wanted when he brought you here. The protectorship is concerned about it. Not a day goes by without patrons racking their brains, searching for a way to preserve what's left of humankind. That's ridiculous. If crossbreeding were possible, would the protectorship declare it's their sacred duty to screw every human inside? Ista choked, his eyes widening in horror. Merciful Quar, where do you even learn phrases like that? So it's the phrase that bothered you, not the idea. What's the big deal? It's fine to shove seeds into humans, but unable to take it, Ista slapped his hand over my mouth. The protectorship treats humans and their fates with respect. Hamin entered the kitchen and Ista shot upright, releasing my mouth. Such fascinating conversations. Concerned for humankind, young patron? Just thinking aloud, Inspector. Ista glanced at me and grimaced. So sensitive. Hamin approached the table and glanced at the plates. An enticing aroma. Are you hungry? There's another pack. I can cook it. Ista, he doesn't... Hamin turned sharply towards me and I fell silent. If you'll be so kind, patron, I'm starving. With a quick nod, Ista hurried to the counter. What kind of a joke is this? Hamin picked up a fork from the table, examined it, and looked at me with a chilling smile. Just a moment, the water's about to boil, and... I'm kind of feeling... Is he like a yandere? You are kind of like getting the vibe sometimes, don't you? And that's why I was like kind of like I wanted to do Hamming at the beginning, because I was like, I'm so curious about this guy. Like, you want to know what's going on. As soon as Ista rested his hand on the table, Hamming stabbed the fork into it. Hamming? Ista froze, lips pressed tight, and slowly raised terrified eyes to the inspector. I want you to answer my questions with absolute honesty. No dodging this time. Hamming tilted the fork slightly. Ista whimpered softly. If you release resonance, I'll drive this fork into your throat. I froze, trying to process what was happening. Hamming never harmed others, especially not like this. The sight of blood on Ista's pristine white gloves made me sick. If he kills him, no one would dare object. How vile. Why did the Corps even give you a mouth, doll? I rose from the table. Sit down. Inspector. Sweetheart, I said sit, not speak. Like, I don't know what's going on in here. Could this have come from a higher position? Could it be that? Okay, Void entered the kitchen and froze. Come running at the boy's squeal, did you? Have you lost it? Let him go. He still licked his lips. Resonance pulsed in his eyes. I left out some details, Inspector, but I didn't lie. The images are chaotic, barely making sense. Hamming yanked the fork out and stabbed it in again. Ista shrieked. Void winced at the sound but didn't budge. What did you see? There were many shattered seeds and a body. A massive pale body. I don't know whose, I swear. What else? Objects? People? Surroundings? Smells? Ista's fear eased for a moment. He blinked several times. Lots of water and... that's it. Sighing, Hamming pulled the fork out and tossed it aside. Ista snapped out of it, trembling, and cradled his wounded hand. I advise you not to withhold details again, young patron. Whether it's nonsense or something useful, that's for me to decide. And you'll better control your resonance before it burns you from the inside. Ista nodded quickly and Hamming silently left the kitchen. Void rushed to the patron, tugged off his glove, and covered the wound with his palm. It's fine. No, it's not. Ista glanced at me and looked away, ashamed. I don't know. I don't know. Distract him, stay silent. I want to stay silent. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I'm like, what? I cannot even distract him. No. I silently watched void, careful movements, and the patron's pale face. Was that really necessary, Hammond? Like, I don't know. Like, it's true that he was hiding something, but I don't know. It's just words didn't fully answer the doll's questions. A massive pale body, one of the harmonauts. Some of them are twice my size. It's possible. I slipped out of the kitchen. Hammond stopped in the living room, whipping his hand on his trousers. Pampushka was pacing around him. Noticing me, he gave me a grim smile. Why? To confirm my first theory. Who was he talking about? If my second theory is confirmed, I'll tell you. He touched my cheek. Though there's something you'll better hear directly. Which is? He withdrew his hand and I quickly wiped Wait, I'm confused now. Wiped my cheek. I wanted to check a walk. Come with me. Wander the streets in the middle of the long night? Noticing my hesitation, Hammond relaxed and his expression changed. Did I scare you? You scared everyone. I'm not asking about everyone. I glanced at his hand. No trace of blood, but it wasn't fear. Then what? Disgust? He stared past my shoulder. There could have been another way. He needs your help. He does, but he was foolish enough to withhold information. I'm sure even now he said less than he should have. Was anything of what he said that important? How's it even been connected to the doll, to the tower? As expected, he didn't answer. I don't want answers to everything, but I'd like to know something to be useful. If I misread the situation, I'll mess things up. Follow me, Diwal. What's going on? Oh, okay. I clicked it and suddenly we were just in there. Okay. Okay. Return to the main menu. I gotta tell you something. I actually really like this one. And I was expecting this one to actually have a lot of issues, because I was like, okay, I think it's like Russian and sometimes you have like issues with them, troubles with translation. And I actually played a bit another time, but I wasn't getting into the story, and I started feeling like, and then I got the bad ending and I was like, maybe I'll see it in another time. But I was actually digging into it. Like right now I was like, we would just like continue, you know. But this is how, honestly, this is how a demo should feel like. You have like an introduction to the story. You pass a bit with each one of them. You kind of feel and sense a bit of the atmosphere, the ambience, the music, the visuals, the script. And usually for me, this is it, like, I don't know, 2 hours for me, like two hours, 2.5. It's like, it's enough for a demo. We don't need like 11 or 12 hours like the other one. Nor we need less than 30 minutes, like with the Heartstop tour, which is like nothing, my friend, nothing. I like that one, but it was like nothing. So yeah, what I was going to say is that I am very curious about this one, and I'll probably actually grab it when it comes out, because I was actually having a lot of fun with it, although I wasn't able to really understand everything that was going on. But I think you kind of always feel that with science fiction, because like there's like this atmosphere, whatever, that is like created, and you just got in there and you're like, okay, how is this world built? You know, you sometimes you feel that, even like when you are reading science fiction, you kind of feel that, which is like, one thing is like you have a movie and you are seeing the things. Other thing is like, especially when you are reading a book or something, and you kind of feel like, okay, now the world needs to be given to me step by step, otherwise I'm not going to understand what is going on in here. Yeah, I really liked it. I wasn't expecting this. Like, I was really liking it. So I am recommending this. I want to see a bit more of it. Yeah, without doubt. So, I mean, that's it. I hope you liked it too. And, I don't know, let me see. No, I cannot. Yeah, by this hour, I cannot. I was like thinking if we could stream another one. Yeah, I cannot today. So tomorrow I'll probably bring you something new. It's so hot in here, like I'm dying. I'll probably bring you something new, and maybe today I'll upload the ones from yesterday, which I was kind of hesitant. So what I'm going to ask you is, please bear with me with the fact that one of the demos is not finished because I could not continue with the whole of like bad endings that I was getting, and the other one is very tiny. Yeah, so I'm really sorry about that, but that's what we got. And that is like, because I'm thinking like I'm going to put it because that was actually my perception as a player, as audience, by playing those demos, you know. And that is also my perception. And that's it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.